Like and subscribe! Hey, before we actually got started, I just wanted to say thank you, everyone who's been watching my videos and everyone who recently subscribed. At the time of this recording, it is the 18th of August, right before the release of the second Pokemon Showdown video and right after the release of the first. I just wanted to say thank you because not only have we reached 25 subscribers, and like the great majority came from that video, and I'm very grateful for that, nice to know that that video did well, but also, that video has almost, 700 views, which, my channel is pretty small at the moment, 25 subscribers, so that's like a huge thing, that's way bigger than my second most viewed video, my Pokemon Fire Red, video, which I still actually recommend you watch that one. I think it's very good, and if you want, you can also watch the Pokemon Showdown video as well, give that a little boost. Even the second Pokemon Showdown video, maybe you could watch them all in order, or whatever, and though I do kind of, like, half recommend you watch the old Freddy into Space videos, in the FNAF playlist, so you can, zoom through them all, if you don't necessarily have to, is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to watch them to enjoy this. Now, granted, the great majority of this video will be talking about the secret bosses and the secrets and things like that, and then the overall review of the game. So, it isn't as, it's more so intended that you know that I played the previous parts, which I'm telling you now, so you have just enough context. Anyway, now let's actually get into the review. I'm going to be doing all the secret bosses in order of which area they appear in. So the first secret boss we have to talk about is the Puppet Master, aka Dawko. Dawko is a very popular FNAF YouTuber, and he was one of the people in the St. Jude live stream helping to beat the game. The name of Puppet Master actually comes from how he pronounces the word puppet, and it's kind of like a little, reference thing there. I think it's a kind of funny, but also, sort of wholesome reference to him, he is a very popular FNAF tuber, and, I'm, of course, a fan of his, as I am with all these people, and, I thought it was really good. The boss, however, was not hard, which I think is kind of possibly on purpose. I would say it was probably the easiest of the super bosses, which makes sense. It is the first one of them all, if you go in area order anyway. And I'd definitely say that it didn't take me multiple tries, is what I'm trying to say. It wasn't exactly difficult. Then our next one is Mad Theorists. This one was the hardest one. It was so hard, like very difficult. I cannot, explain how hard this boss was in comparison to the first. And this is in the second area. It's so hard. Genuinely, it is very hard. Because their main attack is swerving around on the screen. I think it's random. I'm not completely sure. I could be wrong, though. I also like the little reference to Matt and Steph's child, Ollie, in the boss. I think it's very sweet, because at the time, he was around. It's a very cool reference. I also like how Matt and Steph are both in it. He could have just done Matt, but he decided to throw Steph in there and even Ollie. So I generally think that's awesome. It's also really freaky to me how Ollie's like a toddler now and no longer freshly born. I feel old because, I was around when the game first came out. Our next secret boss is actually Anim Dude, which is a representation of Scott Cawthon, that's appeared in many games. It's always been his logo for the longest time, but also it appeared in FNAF World, and the title of this boss, Anim Dude the Revenge, is actually probably a reference to that, how, he showed up in the first game, but now he has his revenge. And this boss was actually pretty hard. I'd say that I think I might have started using Golden Freddy like halfway through, just because of how hard it was. But genuinely, I think this probably would have taken me a lot longer if I didn't use Golden Freddy. I genuinely would say that, since I had to use Golden Freddy, I'd say this is probably around or harder than Mad Theorist, because Mad Theorist took me one try, right? I wasn't, scared. Towards the end, I wasn't really, scared I would lose, because I was real close. Our next boss is Mechaplier, aka Markiplier, but he's a robot, animatronic, whatever the heck. This boss, I would actually say it's not as easy as the first one, but it's nowhere near as hard as the other two. I'd say it's a pretty middle-of-the-road boss. I definitely would say it's harder than the main bosses of the game, although, I have been getting a lot of practice in making these videos. But yeah, I like the reference. It's actually, I forgot who did the art. I'll look that up later, but, all of the art in this game, phenomenal in the major brunt of the review. But before that, we need to talk about the next secret boss, Scott Cawthon himself. So Scott himself is actually a boss, even though Anim Dude is also a boss. This boss is too hard. Genuinely, it is probably second hardest boss in the game. Only second to the final boss, which I'll be talking about soon, of course. Genuinely, very hard. I'm lucky I used Golden Freddy for this. I don't think I would have won otherwise. It took me a lot of power-ups and Golden Freddy to beat this guy, so that should show you how, powerful this boss is. Because Golden Freddy can one-shot all of the main bosses. Well, not one-shot. Golden Freddy can, 3-hit kill, the final bosses of every stage in the game. That is unbelievably strong, super powerful. And you can technically, well, okay, you need to beat Stellar Pit, but after you beat Stellar Pit, you can get Golden Freddy, right? And so, technically speaking, I mean, I play them in order. I don't remember, but if you can play the stages out of order, there's probably some sort of speedrun stat where you do Stellar Pit at, like, low levels to get the puppet, and then after that, you go back to the factory, and then at the factory, you use the puppet to unlock Golden Freddy, which we're actually gonna talk about now, since I'm done talking about Scott. Golden Freddy is the coolest thing in this game. I love the collectibles in this game. I don't know if I would like major Metroidvanias. This is probably it. I believe I have played other ones before, but this is like one I really enjoyed because there's only a few stages, but there's a lot of stuff in those. And I know Metroidvanias are famous for having a lot of stuff to explore, and that seems kind of daunting. This is definitely something like I could see people recommending, especially other FNAF fans or just FNAF fans in general, as a very simple Metroidvania that you can just enjoy. You know, it's far simpler than a lot of other Metroidvanias just because it has so little stages in comparison, and all of those stages also have the love and care of finding all these things. Genuinely, I love the secret of Scott Cawthon. Well, okay, Golden Freddy, right? At the time when they found it on stream, it was the genuine coolest thing in the world. And like genuinely, it was awesome. Okay, like as a FNAF fan, someone who loves these games, you know, someone who really enjoys the scares and the characters. It's so cool to be able to play as, you know, not just the main cast, but also the puppet, and also Golden Freddy. Granted, will you use all of these characters in gameplay? No, not all of them are equal to the others. Now granted, once you get Golden Freddy, since Golden Freddy is so specific to obtain, you'll be using the others a lot more, but after you get Golden Freddy, you're going to be using him for all your boss runs. I would say once everyone's fully leveled up, what most people would do is you use Freddy, probably. Freddy and Foxy, a mix of them, to run through the stages, because Freddy does the most damage and Foxy jumps the highest. These are the two reasons to use them. You're going to be using them to traverse stages a lot. You might be using a bit of the others to maybe find secrets, like you need the puppet to unlock Golden Freddy. But generally speaking, you really have no need for anything once you get Golden Freddy, though. The only reason that I would say use Freddy and Foxy in the stages is because Golden Freddy's jump is kind of abysmal. It's like not a very good jump. The other guys are far more worth it, and you can spam attacks from Freddy fast enough to make up for Golden Freddy. But granted, in the bosses, Golden Freddy is definitely necessary. I would say like probably the most necessary thing in the game, at least for beating the final boss, which I'll get into in a moment. Actually, you know what? Let's get into it now. The final boss of this game, okay? So the way it works is you unlock the secret stage, you go in there, right, you know, and this place. Daunting, I know, very, very daunting. You know, you beat this boss, whatever, pretty easy with Golden Freddy. The next boss, pretty easy with Golden Freddy. Even without Golden Freddy, not the worst in the world, you know? Then, the final boss takes most people like half an hour. It is so long. It has so much health. And the thing is, it becomes mostly a slog of just repeating the same three things. It is not the best constructed boss in the world. But granted, this game isn't meant to be, you know, very, you know, hardcore. You know, it's fairly simple, right? Although I just wish that after you destroyed the TVs, because those take up a lot of your attention at first, right? It gives you something to do. And I wish that there was maybe like a change of attack patterns once you got it to like 50% health after the TVs or whatever. You know, I just like, you know, maybe switch things up a little bit. I mean, there's probably never going to be a Freddy in Space 3, but you know, if there were, I would definitely say that don't make the final boss so repetitive once you destroy, assuming it has the same final boss, which it probably wouldn't. It would probably similar, probably be L.O.L.Z.H.A.X, just a different form. Also, another thing I love about this, it is an Undertale reference. It is a reference to Omega Flowey. I mean, it's never been, like, outright stated, I don't believe, but either way, look at this. It is very obviously a reference to Undertale. You know, I am a big fan of Undertale myself and Five Nights at Freddy's, so to see not only this, but Deltarune referencing, FNAF in around the same time, I believe. Yeah, I think around like the same few months. You know, it was so cool to me to see two giant indie franchises I love reference each other. And now that we've gone over that not terrible, it's not a terrible boss, but it's a terribly strong final boss, I guess it's time for our final thoughts. This video is a bit shorter. I haven't even finished editing the audio, but just looking at what I have so far, it's only like 12 minutes, maybe max. But, you know, it is what it is. These videos have been getting shorter and shorter the longer I go. But genuinely, I love this game, and I wanted to do this series, to show that. Also because I needed a bit more simple content. I'm not going to lie to you. I needed a lot more simple stuff to upload, because I wasn't as experienced in getting these big things done, was very hard. Granted, now, now due to the experience I got from Freddy in Space, I released those Pokemon Showdown videos, which are very similar, actually. The only difference is I think it's probably a bit more interesting to watch me ramble while playing Pokemon, because Pokemon has a bit of strategy to it, and I can, actually talk about, like, the strategy or whatever, and I don't know, I feel like this is a very important part of my journey. That said, there is one more FNAF video coming out at the end of this month. This month is October. There is one more FNAF video coming out at the end of this month, and then I will be taking a very long break from Five Nights at Freddy's. It is about why Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location is my favorite FNAF game in the entire series. If you want to see that, like and subscribe. I'm sure you will enjoy it. If you enjoyed this, I can almost guarantee you'll enjoy that. It will be a labor of love towards my favorite FNAF game. And that said, speaking of my videos, earlier I mentioned all of my Pokemon videos, but you could also, watch those Freddy in Space videos, or alternatively, you could watch the video I released, I believe, right before this, about Minecraft versus Fortnite. I actually really like this video. It's about using kind of math, but it's like very, watch the video, it's not terribly hard math. It's probably something you could figure out yourself, with enough, with like a few hours of fun, It's not meant to be fully serious, but genuinely I do think it is, I do think the final result is indicative of how the battle would go. That said, like and subscribe, watch my stuff, maybe not my earliest stuff, you're probably going to do that anyway now. My first video was actually a FNAF video, and so kind of, interesting that I'm going to be taking a hiatus from, the first video I ever made pretty soon. That one features a lot of my friends. It isn't the best video I've ever made. I was really proud of it at the time. Now I think the best video I've made is my Pokemon Fire Red video. I'm sure you're going to be seeing some videos on screen by now. But yeah, like and subscribe. I hope you are all having a wonderful day. Join my fan base, I guess my very small fan base at the time of this recording of 25 viewers. Join. Thank you for all the love and attention my videos have been getting. I'm making this ending really, really long-winded for no damn reason. But genuinely, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of the attention I've been getting. But also, like this video, genuinely. Like, my videos used to get, like, I don't know, like 100 views, let's say. Like 100 views, Those videos, 2 likes. What the hell, guys? My recent videos have been getting better, I believe the Fire Red video has a nice 5, but, it has almost 200 views currently. That's a mere fraction, my friends. So I want you to slam that like button as hard as possible. I want you to subscribe. If you really did, or, like, truly, really enjoyed this video, I want you to send it to some friends, maybe. I don't know why I'm making this ending so long-winded. Like, I can't even make money off of this. This is just me rambling to all hell. Like and subscribe. I have some bangers coming out in December. I hope you'll be excited for. Also, some good stuff coming next month in November. Eris out.